In this video, I will show you Bullseye, my physics project powered by GeoGebra. Bullseye is basically a simulator consisting in three parts: the electromagnet, the trajectory, and the bullseye. The electromagnet creates a magnetic field that interacts with the projectile and shoots it. You can adjust all the specifications of the electromagnet, such as the current intensity and the amount of time the electromagnet is active, by using the blue sliders. This will in return modify the initial velocity. The trajectory is a parabolic movement that depends on the initial velocity, the shot angle, the mass, and the gravity. Finally, the bullseye is your goal, and you can set on one hand the bullseye characteristics and on the other hand its position. There is also a control pad, which is your main way of interaction. Apart from the shot simulator, Bullseye V1 also features a game. Your goal in this game is to survive as long as possible, but each turn you lose 20 points. You can win some points by hitting the bullseye, which gives you 25 points, or by hitting the center of the bullseye. This gives you 45 points. You can adjust the starting difficulty with the slider in the control pad. Now I will show you Bullseye from the inside. There are 11 variables in Bullseye. My objective with this was to put as much as possible as a variable, to be able to modify it in the simulator and then have the chance to see how every variable affects the problem. Here below I have studied the main variables and how they affect the result, which in this case is the height of the projectile when it reaches the distance the bullseye is at. I haven't studied, of course, every one of the variables, because, for example, it didn't make any sense to study the effect of the bullseye radius in the results. Most of the variables I have studied are related to the electromagnet, as this affects the power of the shot. The behavior of the results when these variables are modified can be easily understood if we bear in mind the formula of the magnetic field created by an electromagnet, which is the one displayed here. You should also realize that these maximums shown in the graphics exist because no matter how fast you shoot the projectile, it will not impact above the point the electromagnet is pointing at. Other variables I have studied are m for the projectile mass and g for the gravity. You will find more info on what every variable is in the information spoiler that appears when Bullseye is opened. As you probably have already noticed, there is a conclusion of every variable's study on the right side. But from the variables I have studied, the angle is definitely the most interesting one. As you can see here, when the angle variable is increased, it makes the result grow increasingly until 80 degrees. At this point, the growth starts to lessen. The function reaches its maximum at approximately 82 degrees, and from then on it drops sharply. So to finish, you may have noticed it's called Bullseye V1. That means there probably will be more releases of Bullseye in the future. Of course, you can always feel free to email me, share new ideas, tell me what you think Bullseye should include in the next release, report bugs, or even propose new projects I could do in GeoGebra or similar programs. Thanks for watching and push the like button if you liked this video.